Let's start with this. We're all born with an original constitution, an original doshic makeup. It could be mostly pitta, a little vata, not so much kapha.
Is it? And this variation. Is just, I'm out of the womb. This is my genetic makeup, my Correct. XY, my XX. Yes.
It's known as your prakriti.
My DNA.
Your prakriti is your original doshic makeup. So it's like your fingerprint, right?
Welcome to Beyond the Reps, where we talk about all things your physical therapist and trainer forgot to tell you. I'm one of your hosts, Whitney Stevenson. I am a gym owner, a celebrity trainer, and a personal training coach.
And I'm Dr. Hannah Shays, your co-host. I'm a physical therapist and practice owner. So today we would like to welcome Elisa Roush of Restoration Bodywork in Tequesta, Florida. She is originally a small town Midwestern girl who was raised in Ohio. She has been self-employed since 2005, but her business was born in 2015. She loves reading all kinds of books from anatomy to cooking, and food is what started her on her holistic path into the Ayurvedic world. So welcome, Elisa.
Yay, I know, welcome. Welcome to the house. Welcome to the podcast house.
Thanks for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm glad to interact with you in a different way, not just face down on the table, although that I think might be my favorite way to interact with you, although I'm not acting much. I'm not doing much interaction. I'm just more laying. But I'm just so excited to have you here. I think this is going to be a really good conversation between just three really powerful, insightful women, three really good girlfriends. So pull up your coffee, pull up your non-tea and
your not
coffee, and we'll settle into this really cool, amazing chat about Ayurveda, about massage, about taking care of yourself, about rest, and about your local business. We'll start there. So tell us a little bit about the birth of Restoration Bodywork. It's a local to Jupiter, Tequesta area. I don't want to call it a massage parlor because that is not what you do.
Please don't call it a parlor.
I will let you give the description.
Okay, not a parlor. So what I have going on in Tequesta is just a small boutique practice. It's where I do all my hands-on work, massage therapy, Ayurvedic bodywork, and I hope to be offering some small women's groups where we're studying principles of Ayurveda and how to promote wellness and rest in your daily lives for women in transition, whatever that transition is.
Yeah.
From season of life,
so cool.
Age.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of where I first met you. I had heard your name, and I heard of the name of your business, like kind of rolling around just my universe, my little tiny universe of wellness and fitness in the Jupiter area. And I got gifted a massage by someone for the holidays, and they asked me who I wanted it by, and I was like, oh, well, I've really wanted to try this woman. Can I grab one? And so that was kind of my first interaction with you. And that was one of the most transformative massages I've had. And I've done quite a bit of body work, just being an athlete and, trying to take care of myself and trying to figure out ways to relax. And your massage was definitely the first massage I felt complete, like relaxation, detachment. I've fallen asleep during them. So thank you for giving me that. It's really cool. And, Hannah, you've had a massage, right?
Yeah, so my massage with you it was really good. Actually, a few of them have been very good. My issue with massages is I suck at down regulating. Like, I'll just talk to you during the beginning and you'll kind of engage with me. But what's been really good about getting them from you is you don't really play into my hamster wheel of, well, I'll just keep talking to you because we're hanging out. You it's like a gentle, like, shh, until I completely downregulate and just shut up and let you do your magic. So I found that it's been really restorative and restful for me. I've needed it.
I definitely feel the restorative, like not just relaxation, but restorative. Like I'm recharged, where in a normal massage, I think most massage therapists, they check in, they kind of get a litmus of where the client is at, and then they work from there. and I'm always the person to say, like, you're the professional. Like, I don't go to my hairstylist and tell them how to do this. Like, they're the professional, you're the professional. So I just think you have a really good gift at connecting with people and where they're at, and like really seeing through maybe those things where they're coming at you with some anxieties or whatever. You allow a clearing and then that down regulation, and then you really can create like some restoration within the body, and the mind, which to me, that was exactly what I was looking for, because I can understand, recovering the body, and I can understand separately recovering the mind, but kind of being able to do 2 in 1 is really quite unique.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely more than just body recovery for me. It's like I need to get out of my brain and have my nervous system melt a little bit. And so I get both of that with you, because most massage therapists will just let me. They'll just talk. We'll just talk the whole time. And that's fine, because I just want the body work. But what I really need is the mental restoration. And even Sam, my husband, got a massage the other day from someone else, and he came back and I was like, how was it? He's like, oh, she was cool. We talked the whole time. And I thought, probably didn't relax.
How relaxing was that? But maybe for some people who don't talk to people or interact with people all day.
He's an extrovert.
Oh, well, then you go.
So maybe he was relaxed.
He was jamming on that. He was like, yeah, I'm so relaxed right now. I'm going to tell you how relaxed I am. Meanwhile, I'm passed out drooling. Elisa's like, are you okay? Are you alive?
Confirmation of life.
Yeah, have you ever left someone in the room and you thought they were awake and they didn't come out and you had to go wake them up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You just learn to give it a few minutes, and then once you've reached those few minutes, you're like wondering, should I knock? Standing outside the door, ear pressed against it. I don't hear any movement. Time to knock. And they'll say, I fell asleep. Yeah, I thought so. So, giving people a minute to just come back to their body, come back to the moment, wake up, be fully present. Sometimes that's
that's my
worth the wait.
My favorite moment of the massage. Well, actually, it's probably my least favorite moment because it means it's over. But you will say, take your time, awake very gently, no rush. And I'm like, don't you worry. I'm taking my time. Like, I'm like trying to peel my eye open, being like, I don't think I should operate my vehicle for at least 30 minutes. Like,
don't make any major decisions. Don't balance your checkbook. Yeah, none of that.
But it's something that I need for me, for the way my life is, and having, higher stress lifestyle, being able to tap in, even if it's once a month, for me has already made like a huge difference.
It's helping you set that pace. You want a chance to be able to slow down your pace. I mean, we live in hustle culture, so taking time to do the things, the practices, whether it's massage, whether it's meditation, whatever it is, just to slow everything down, even for a few minutes each day, is so helpful for the nervous system. That's how we learn to regulate it. That's how we learn to down-regulate the nervous system, and be in life from more of a parasympathetic mode of our nervous system, rather than the stress pump.
That's how I live my life.
Yeah,
I am a stress
What are you talking about?
almost everyone's
That's how I function.
Right.
So I know that you're pretty booked for your massage clients, but you're also trying to transition into a much deeper focus on Ayurvedic nutrition and lifestyle education. So can you just tell the listeners what is Ayurveda and just go over the main principles?
Sure. So I get asked a lot, what is Ayurveda? It's more like, what is Ayurha? How do I even say it?
Why is there a Y in there?
Why? How does this make any sense? Ayurveda literally means, when you break the word down to its roots, it means the science of life, and it's the sister science to yoga. It's what shows us how to heal. Yoga helps support our healing, and they work very well together. It's an ancient holistic health science that's still practiced today, estimated to be about 5,000 years old, which is a long time to get it right.
Yeah.
And it's very much focused on prevention for body, emotions, the mind, because they're not separate from each other. One affects the other. And the principles are very much rooted in, let's look at your lifestyle, let's look at your diet, how are you sleeping? I mean, very practical stuff that a lot of us are thinking about anyway. And I think we're all looking for support in those areas. How are we regulating our emotions? How do we handle stress? So there's lots of different things that we can do to support our well-being with Ayurveda. And I think that's what makes it so appealing to people, is that it's not like I have to buy this supplement or a very complicated practice. It's not. It's very simple. And
there's no tests, right?
No, no, and it's stuff that we can all do. What are we putting in our mouths? So diet is huge. That's medicine. Food is medicine. We literally transform what we put in our mouths into the tissues that make up our bodies. And
into
It's
energy
alchemy.
that makes us, allows us to move and, recruits
And it
energy into our
affects your
brain.
feelings.
And your
According
gut
to
and emotions.
Ayurveda, whatever we take in through all of our senses must be digested. So it's also paying attention to who we're hanging out with, what we're watching, what we're reading, how much we're on the internet. I mean, all of that.
So the principles of Ayurveda have kind of, I'm going to just ask a question because it came to my mind, but it's kind of stayed the same
Yes.
from the beginning, but its application now is probably more in need because of our flip-flop of what our life used to be. Like we used to be, farming or nomadic or hunting or, and now we've switched and we have the internet and even our timetable scale is different. The amount of time that we spend with friends or family has diminished and the amount of time that we spend in front of a screen or on the internet has, gone into spiral. So, but these principles, even though us as humans, we have evolved or devolved, however you want to look at it, these principles were this was healthy then, it's still healthy for you now. This is kind of like a guideline and we're trying to figure out how to get closer to it.
You nailed it. It was designed that way to be adaptable. It has to be adaptable if it's going to survive
and last
time and be a lasting thing. So yes, the guidance, the support, all the practices, it's all meant to be adaptable to whatever they say it's ancient wisdom for modern day, for modern people. And that's the reason why, is because it's adaptable.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of reminds me of, I don't know if Chinese medicine is considered lateral or a sister to it, because they have some overlap with the ancient wisdom, and Chinese medicine's more focused on qi. There's no practice of acupuncture, acupressure in Ayurveda, is there? I know there's Ayurvedic massage, but is there an acupressure or a meridian system or anything?
There is, and it's similar to the acupuncture meridians.
Okay.
It's called marma.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the acupressure. So when I'm working on someone, it could be an ordinary deep tissue massage. I say ordinary, and just a regular massage. They don't know that I'm doing Ayurvedic bodywork on them. It does, it's not like we talk about it. It's not like it's an add-on or anything. But marma is just acupressure, and the best place that I've found for its application when I'm working with people is on the head, on the tops of the shoulders, the base of the skull, the occiput. There are points all over the body, and that is another route to calming the nervous system.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you're getting that acupressure. My clients are getting acupressure, and most of them don't.
They don't even
Any
know.
clue.
Yeah.
They don't need to know. It's just like with Reiki. It's the same. I'm trained in that, and if someone's open to it, they'll receive it, and if not, that's fine.
Yes.
Were you trained first in massage and then built in Ayurveda, or were you passionate about Ayurveda and that journey and then built in your massage, or was it a lateral journey for both?
No, I came to massage first, so that was just kind of a natural extension of how I was living my life. through my adult years, I've lived very holistically because it all started with food. Do we want to go there? Should we go there to the origin story?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
We could go there.
So when
What's
I was
the point?
when I was first married, long time ago, my then mother-in-law gifted me a cookbook because I came into the marriage not knowing how to cook anything. I wasn't even sure how long you boil an egg before it's considered hard-boiled. And if you could screw up toast, I did it royally. So she felt sorry for me and wanted to make sure her son was fed. So she gave me this cookbook. And it was more than a cookbook. It was a lot of information on, good fats versus bad fats, which was kind of revolutionary for this time, really. And the difference between white flour and wheat flour and sugar versus something like honey or other natural sweeteners, maple syrup. And I was blown away because I was raised on a super processed diet, really. I think a lot of people in that time were. Parents just didn't know. They were busy. They think frozen stuff's great.
Yeah, the convenience factor was big.
Right.
It was just kind of at the forefront of that time. So it was like, oh, I could put a meal in the microwave, or I could just set this in the oven and it's
even
done.
Before microwaves.
Yeah. Like put the Stouffer's thing in the oven and wait, and then forget about it, and then all of a sudden we have dinner.
Right.
Yeah.
So that whole cookbook is what set me off on this trajectory of learning about food and nutrition. I learned how to cook. I have since mastered toast.
Revolutionary.
Yeah, revolutionary. And I was really passionate about learning about food, where it came from, how to cook it, how to grow it. That led to foraging for plant medicines and things like that. And so that's basically how I was raising my kids. We had a garden, we had chickens, we were preserving and canning our own foods and making bread and all the things. And
all the things that are like recirculating now.
They're recirculating now.
They're becoming
it's nice
more.
To see.
Yeah, they're becoming more. That lost art is becoming more of a thing people are seeking out.
I don't think that art is ever truly lost for too long. Like most of those things. Like
we'd be screwed if it got lost.
Yeah,
exactly.
We'd be so screwed.
Yeah. I know, right?
But it's not the. I guess when I say lost, I mean it's
forgotten.
Yeah, I mean it's not even forgotten. It's just. Again, it's the convenience factor, right? Of, well, I have to tend to the chickens. I have to tend to the, it's like our time. We're not on with our feet on the ground doing that. Right. We're like, I mean, even me, my head is all over the place. I'm in my phone. I'm in my computer. I'm stacking other things on top of each other. And it's kind of just like a different time, but you're totally correct. And like, if we completely lost that, like, we'd be completely on like monocrops. We'd be on
TV dinners.
There would be no more, I think there's just something very important about the art of, nurturing your own food. Yeah. It's really cool.
You could say the same about Ayurveda. It could have been lost. I mean, it went underground for a long time. It's actually much older than the texts even estimated as, because it was originally an oral tradition. Like a lot of those, well, not even just Eastern traditions were orally passed down. Tribes, tribes.
So it was more of storytelling, of not like documenting this,
right?
But to actually pass the practice down.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And it went underground when there was a whole colonialization. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Say it for me. Of India when Britain was
colonizing.
Yes, thank you.
What is the word?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it went underground, but it wasn't totally lost. It wasn't totally forgotten. And I think that's kind of like what we're seeing now with some of these trends to make your own bread and grow your own food. And like that stuff wasn't totally lost, but it wasn't on the forefront of everyone's mind all these decades, So it's kind of nice to see that. And from getting back to how I got to massage from there, that was just like an extension of how I was living my life. I was living this holistic life. I was into that sort of stuff. I was curious about it. I heard about massage therapy. I hadn't finished college because I don't know if y'all know this, but potty training and writing papers that just doesn't happen.
That seems
right?
overwhelming.
It was just slightly overwhelming. And my oldest two are 16 months apart, so it was basically like having twins.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I said. Wow, this is not happening right now in my life. So it was important to me to go back to school and finish college. And there was a degree program at the school I went to in Akron. I did it. I was 33, and I'm not sorry I did it. So from there, I found yoga. Mm-hmm. I just found out that my first yoga teacher, who was in her 70s when I met her, gosh, she was so great. Her name was Bobby. She was the grandmother who stood on her head.
Oh, wow.
And she was teaching yoga in Illyria, the town I was from. And she just passed away.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
She would say after class, "Who's up for wine and wings?"
As any true yoga teacher.
Did you get wine and wings with her?
Yeah.
Maybe you should. I think you should honor her with some wine.
Some wine and wings.
It doesn't need to be chicken wings. You could do like angel wings or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
Oh,
do
I
wings
think
in a
that's a
different
good
way.
idea.
Like spit it on its head.
She was a remarkable woman, and she was my first yoga teacher. So I found her. Then I took some Thai yoga massage training, and it was after. And then I took my yoga teacher training in 2015. Sorry. Yoga teacher training in 2015, and from there it was Ayurveda. I found Ayurveda through yoga, just, hearing about it here and there. I was interested in learning more, and decided that I was going to take this 2-year program, like kind of on the night before they cut off.
Like the
sign-ups.
deadline. Like sign up or
sign up
you're
or-
not doing it.
Yeah, right.
Are you historically a procrastinator or no?
No.
Hannah with the tough questions here.
I didn't know if you were putting it off or if it was like you found out about it, and it was closing and you just got in luckily.
Yeah, I had to make a decision right then and there. I sometimes have a tough time making big decisions, so I called a friend of mine. She's a Reiki master in her 80s. I love hanging out with older people.
Yeah, who doesn't?
You're an old soul.
Old soul.
Old soul.
Old souls stick together. And I said, look, I have to make this decision, like now. And she also has a gift of seeing things. She sees things, she knows things. I don't know where this woman came from, but I love and adore her. And she said, do it. I said, that's what I was going to say. She goes, trust it, do it. I said, okay. Yeah.
And you did it.
I did. I was glad I did.
Wow, that's really amazing.
So I want to talk a little bit more about diving into Ayurveda. So I know that I'm familiar with 3 main body compositions, the Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Did I say those right? Mm-hmm. Can you break down those 3 for the listeners?
Sure. So they're made up of the elements: air, earth, water, fire, ether. And Vata is air and ether, Pitta is fire, and Kapha is earth and water. And if you think about the qualities of those elements, that gives you a good idea of what these are made of. So let's choose Pitta, fire. People who are hot, people who are intense, people who are driven, and they may be prone to rashes, things like that. I mean, so if you think
that
about
us?
yeah,
Is that both of us?
Did I do that?
so you can say they have good and bad qualities, or you can not label them good and bad. You could just say they have light and dark qualities, right?
Like we all, I'm sure we all do.
Everything is made up of, and everything is made up of all these elements. And that's the point, is that it's not just people are made up of these elements and have these constitutional makeups, but everything around us. Seasons are attributed to the dosha, right? Like we're coming into summer. That's a very pitta season. And the idea with Ayurveda is that when a dosha is out of balance, so let's start with this. We're all born with an original constitution, an original doshic makeup. It could be mostly pitta, a little vata, not so much kapha.
Is it? And
Some
this is just,
variation.
I'm out of the womb. This is my genetic makeup, my
Correct.
XY, my XX.
It's known as your
this is
prakriti.
my DNA.
Your prakriti is your original doshic makeup. So it's like your fingerprint, right?
So it's not what I'm like nurtured into.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Or experientially becoming.
It's predetermined.
It's your body composition, your emotional makeup, like even down to how your bones are. If your bones are, let's take muscles with pitta. So if you have dense muscles, you're prone to bulking up. That's a very pitta quality. And then, where was I going from that? So we all have these doshic makeups, and then like seasons have a doshic makeup. Summer being pitta, times of life. Like I'm entering a very vata stage in life. As you get older, you dry out. Vata, air and ether, a lot of wind, a lot of change, a lot of movement, a lot of dry. So
when you're talking about these elements, like you're saying, like, okay, you're in this phase of your life that's more wind, change, transformation, maybe coming to grips with mortality, friends getting sick, your kids are getting older, you have these big transformations, and you just said it yourself that it's like this drier season of your life.
Right.
So knowing that, is this kind of like a cornerstone or not a cornerstone, but a map or a legend to be like, okay, this is the time that I'm entering and this is medicine for me to take care of it, or this is how I can self-care through this season of change and transition and big things happening, loss of control, whatever it is. Is that kind of the point of being able to have these distinct, I don't know what you called this season of yours. You said Vata? Vata. Yeah, so in this Vata season, okay, so now I know that I'm in that, and these are some things I can pull for or from that Ayurvedic understanding of what Vata is.
Yes. So to bring in the opposite qualities is the medicine. So I'm entering a Vata time of life. If I'm experiencing excess dryness, which normally someone my age, a woman my age is, you would bring in moisture. So thinking about what you eat, bring in warm, moist foods, oiling the body, like with Abhyanga massage. That's a very popular Ayurvedic treatment. It's one that I offer. It's one that I do myself. And I encourage everyone to do this for themselves. And you don't have to be really dry to do an Abhyanga massage. It's just a good nervous system modulator. And it's also a way to prevent drying out, like physically.
Yeah, that was actually kind of like where I was going with this is that you can use this form of massage, and you can use Ayurvedic practice as a tool for medicine, right? It's not a luxury massage. It's not, this is a form of self-care.
Yes, exactly.
So Pitta is more, muscular, driven, intense, prone to, I guess, is it prone to anger or no?
Prone to
Are
anger.
you prone to anger? Hannah.
I think you're Pitta too. Wait, yeah. So
Up for debate.
would you say that we're both Pitta composition, or am I a mix of Vata?
We're a mix
Pitta?
of all of them.
Yeah.
But one's usually going to stand out more than the other, unless you're a very small percentage of the population who are tridoshic. God bless you. But you both have some big Pitta tendencies.
What are you?
I'm more Vata.
Can you explain the Vata qualities of a person?
Air and ether. So
Whimsical.
a little spacey, very whimsical, creative. Got 100 million different things that I'm working on all the time and going in different directions. Prone to anxiety, that sort of thing.
And what about Kapha?
Kapha is earth and water. So if you think about what earth and water make, it's mud. They're very stable. They're slow. Everything about them is slow, including their metabolism, and they tend to carry extra weight. But they're also like the nurturers, the mamas that you just want to hug from. Ever get a hug from somebody who's just like
A good hugger?
A good hugger, and you're like, man, I feel so hugged right now.
Yeah.
That's a Kapha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get shout out to the kaffas, good huggers. I mean,
hugging kaffas.
I'm all for a good hug. And they're probably like, God, you're hot.
Oh, you burned me.
Hot potato.
Is that a rash you have?
All right. So now we're kind of at this point where you're combining your massage now with your new understanding of like Ayurveda. And that's, I mean, I'm assuming that's kind of how you're treating people right now, is that your people are coming to you being like, I want a massage. You're like, of course, I'll give you a massage. And then you assess, and then you kind of pull from this like Ayurvedic background, and maybe unbeknownst to your client, they're getting this form of like Ayurvedic medicine. Is that something that, am I right? Or are you like, no, I don't do that at all. It's completely separate. I wait for them to ask me about this before I introduce any of that.
Well, I think it's both, because as I said, I do offer the marma. It's just kind of something I do in any massage. It's acupressure. They don't have to know what it is. If it comes up, if I can tell that it's somebody who's interested in learning more, or they have a specific question, I'm always available to go there with them. But a lot of times it's what's coming up as they're going through the massage. I tend to hear a lot of stories, and I might say, well, if you're open to it, I have something, it might be a product, or it might be, I'll tell them about Abhyanga that they can do for themselves, or I can offer to give to them. If I think that it's something that'll be supportive. So it's kind of like an organic approach, I guess. I mean, I do carry some retail in the office, but that's not my main thrust. It's really just there for if something comes up, if somebody's looking for something, needing something,
that you have
if it saves you a trip, here you go.
Yeah.
You're not pushing products onto people.
No.
Which nobody wants, right?
No,
So that's
I'm
good.
actually very proud of my product lines that I carry, because they're all either small business, local business, women-owned, family-owned, U.S.-made, or, supporting a cause that I believe in.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And it's useful stuff.
Yeah, that's what I really appreciate about when I go to see you, is that, yes, it is a form of self-care. Yes, it is relaxation, but I do really feel like it is, I said self-care, and I'm about to say I really feel like I'm taking care of myself, because I know I can go to you, I can count on the massage to actually like down-regulate me, de-stress me, reset me, and then if there is something going on in my body, I know that you have like an educational and a background in Ayurveda, in holistic practices, that I could try something natural or something that my body might actually respond to, versus just like running to CVS and buying something like that. And for me, I resonate more with that, because then I feel like I'm actually taking the time to like get to know what's going on in my body, because I think that's part of Ayurveda, is that you're getting to the root cause of things that might be going wrong, versus like CVS is probably just putting a Band-Aid over to get rid of the symptom, right? And to not dive deeper and figure out, okay, why are you experiencing this symptom? So I think for me, that's a practice of medicine that might be a little bit missing in some of our Western medicine, and is really the root of our symptoms, is like what we need to really be digging down for.
Yeah. And when you think about, what does that look like to dig down? A lot of it is just getting quiet, right? Getting quiet and having the courage to see what comes up in our minds, in our emotions when we are quiet. That's a lot. That's a lot. But it's also necessary, because, Ayurveda asks us to know ourselves. And how do we do that? Well, we have to be willing to be with ourselves, to kind of tune out the noise that's around us. We live in a noisy world, right? There's so much going on all the time.
It's not easy to be with yourself.
No,
and
it's
not available for a lot of people, especially even just being home alone. Well, you're on your phone, you're looking at somebody else's on social media, you're texting somebody, you're watching TV, it's very easy to be pulled out. That's for me been a really big, I don't know, something I'm passionate about in training is to use training as a tool to get to know yourself, not distract you from yourself, not to go into fight or flight, get more adrenaline and, feel super jacked about it. It's like, no, this is like a time to get to know yourself for me. And then that's what I try to encourage my clients to do as well. And some people want to do it and some people don't want to do it. But it's amazing to hear that there's an actual like science of life that promotes that same idea.
It absolutely does. Yeah. I had a something I wanted to say to that, and now it just escaped. So that this is common for women in my age group is losing your train of thought. Hello, perimenopause.
Well, we can move on to myths. If you come back to it, then you can let us know, but we can just start busting some Ayurvedic myths.
Sounds good.
Kind of want to skip one of I had a question written down. I was like, I don't feel like asking that. I like this Ayurvedic train we're going on. So.
Yeah, we're on a good... Okay, so while we're on the train then, or myth, is that Ayurveda is only for hippies and yogis. They're only for people with yoga mats and dreadlocks.
I've heard a lot of people with yoga mats who don't know or aren't sure what Ayurveda is. So no, I wouldn't say that.
So that's a stereotype
That's
that
a
needs
stereotype.
to be squished, squashed,
squished
smashed.
and squashed.
Is it for everyone?
Yes, it absolutely is for everyone. If it's something that aligns with your beliefs and your lifestyle, then yeah. I think people are going to be resistant to if they think of it as woo-woo, which they might, because we do consider the moon phases. That's just a part of life. We're aligning ourselves with nature's rhythms, and to be able to do that, you have to consider moon phases and how it affects
people feel like everything is woo-woo because they forget we didn't have homes at one point. We had rock dwellings and huts
stars
and
to navigate.
We evolved.
Sundials.
Yeah, we evolved through nature. Like the reason why we have a clock.
We are very separated from nature.
Very
in our
out of
modern
touch.
lives. So if we just back it up a bit and put ourselves in nature more often, I think we'll start feeling a lot better, whatever our circumstances are, whatever our ailments are.
Is that a principle in Ayurveda, being in nature?
Yeah, just it's taking time to spend time in Big Mama.
That's one of my favorite things you say to me, honestly, is that like Big Mama is abundant. She's here, like the earth.
She cannot be depleted.
She cannot be depleted, which is so true because like I'm gonna turn into dust at one point, and she's just gonna keep on rocking and rolling, baby. She's gonna keep on being Mother Earth, and I'm gonna be fugazi, gone.
I have to say, so I've worked with both of you on the massage table. You get 2 different massages.
Your
Your massages don't look the same. So can I?
Yeah, of course, please, by all means.
May I? Might I? We do a lot of meditation, and it's something that I don't plan. I don't have a script for. It's just channeled in the moment based on what you tell me you're going through, and the intuition that bubbles up in the moment.
Well, I think it's like the energy I bring to you and your ability to sense it and be like, okay, this is what she needs.
Or it just is all in the moment and it's just coming out, or I'll say something and then afterwards you'll tell me, yeah, that really landed. And yours are more like, we don't do meditation. It's more classic body work.
Is that just because you don't feel like you need to give me like that? My energy doesn't need that, or we haven't talked about it.
We haven't talked about it. And honestly, when I would offer that would be at the beginning, which is when you're getting a lot of your restlessness out. You're talking it out.
Okay.
And so I'm
you don't need to make me meditate. I just talk it out.
Witness all of that and hold you in that space that you need.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was worth mentioning, is the difference
I like
between
that.
between. So
everyone's getting something different from you. It's not just another day in the office. Let me do my Ayurvedic massage
there are
on
no cookie cutters
all these people
in my office.
Yeah. No, I like that. That's what people want nowadays. People want. I mean, that's why functional medicine is taking off, because people want to feel like, oh, all of these tests are unique to me, and this is what's going on with me, and this is what I need, and I need to take all of these things. Like, people just want customized medicine. I don't even know that they specifically want functional medicine. They just want custom treatments.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know
think
in the middle,
it's curated. I think they want curated things for that. I mean, that's my business, right? I'm curating a fitness program for each individual person. Like, and just like you're curating a physical therapy, get back to running. It doesn't, the principles might look the same. My principles might look the same, but each individual client that you teach or that you're working with, they get their own unique experience. You're not going, well, this is my methodology and you have to check all these boxes. It's like, well, I got 3 main boxes that you need to hit before I can tell you that you can run. Or I want you to learn how to deadlift, bench, squat properly. And then we can really curate your program to what you're going to need, what's actually going to benefit you. So I think people, that's just where we're going, where we're shifting, which also, in my opinion, is a deep shift inward. People realizing that we're all the same, but we're not all the same. I need something a little bit different because my life looks like XYZ and her life looks like QRS. Why are we doing the same thing?
To be healthy is to be in a state of svasta, svastha. It's a Sanskrit word that means, and I love this word, I love it. It means to be in your own truth, to be in the center of who you really are. And to know who you really are is to be able to get quiet with yourself. Even if it's just little bits at a time, eventually it's like a muscle. You're training. You're training to know yourself. You're training to be able to be quiet. You're training to be able to go inward, hear those messages your body's giving you. Yeah. So that you can just flow through your life. I think
that's such a really unique point to bring up, because I share a lot with clients about, how are you talking to yourself in your head? Your inner dialogue can, it can make you or break you type of thing. But it's almost like get quiet within that dialogue. So not only, don't just go, okay, I've been negative to myself, I know I'm going to be positive. It's just shut it down. Just turn the volume down and then see what happens. And then sometimes it's wow, that wasn't even my voice that was going on. Maybe I need a meeting or something.
We do have a tendency to turn stories in our heads. And that's another reason why it's so hard to get quiet, is to, I don't think we can ever turn it off. It's the mind doing what the mind does. It generates thought, but we can become less reactive to it. And that's the resilience that we're trying to build.
I have a myth and a question. And it's actually good that this is the myth because it matches my question. So the myth is Ayurveda cannot coexist with Western medicine. Western medicine's over here and then Ayurveda's over here. And then the question I have when you answer that is, I know where to find Chinese medicine practitioners, usually acupuncture clinics and functional medicine practitioners. You can find them. I don't know where to find, besides you, I don't know where you would find an Ayurvedic practitioner. I don't know if it's just more secret or if it's just less popular compared to the others, but...
So, finding an Ayurvedic practitioner, you just have to go online, because I don't think there are as many here in the West as there are acupuncture physicians. I don't know why that is. It just is. And what was the first part? The myth?
The myth is that Ayurveda can't coexist.
Yeah, totally
with
not
Western.
true. Totally not true. Because it's preventative, its emphasis is on prevention, you can totally use Ayurvedic practices right alongside with Western medicine. It's very complementary. So even if you have the scariest diagnosis, Of course, you would work with your healthcare practitioner or provider. But a lot of these practices are very, very supportive and gentle and can help you through scary things, scary diagnosis and diseases and surgeries, events, things that, we need Western medicine for. If my guts are falling out because I was in an accident, I'm not going to sip herbal tea right away.
You're not going to pull oil.
You're not going to do oil pulling first. I'm going to the hospital first. So then maybe afterwards I'll do some Ayurvedic things.
Yeah.
I'm getting the guts back in there first. So they can complement each other.
Good answer.
So you were describing, you actually kind of answered this myth, but the myth is energy work a placebo? Like you were saying, like some people are going to think this is like woo woo, ha ha. And also you were kind of describing your interaction with me and Hannah being, energy driven, and then that guiding your healing basically, which kind of answers the question. But for people who are doing these practices, which I could actually just speak to this, is the myth would be, do you have to believe that it's going to work, or does it just work? Ayurveda, like any kind of Ayurvedic principle, like tongue scraping, oil pulling, you have to go, this is going to work for me. I'm doing it and it worked for you. Like for me, that wasn't my case. I went, all right, well, let's give this a shot. And I did it and I got a result. So my experience with it is that no, you don't need to believe it. You just need to be willing to try it. Try it on.
Be open.
Be open. It's
think
not
that's
anything
a good
where you have
approach.
to be like, I'm really going to benefit from this and make it work for me. It was sort of much more simpler than that. It was just kind of like taking a little baby step and seeing. It was like trying on clothes. I'm just going to see if this works for me. And I was like, wow, it worked for me. I didn't have to do like this massive shift of religion or something.
Right. No, and it's not a massive shift like that. It really is in the little consistent things that we do day in, day out. That's where you're going to see the most change in your health over the long term. It's not an overnight fix.
It's a season.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And I think, of course, going into anything with an open mind is going to be way more beneficial than being closed toward it.
Yeah.
So
I think anything that where you can practice expansion of the mind will ultimately lead to a little bit more either understanding or even maybe a healthier disposition. Because there's so much that we don't know that's out there,
Well, and I want to piggyback off of what you said with being open. It's not like a big change like with religion. It's just being open. So you see that with Reiki. I mean, if the person is open to it, they'll get it. If they're closed, it won't probably affect them. I see that even with dry needling, which, they have research backing it, but I'll put needles in someone. I'd say 75% of the time it's pretty effective. And then someone like my husband, he lets me do it, but he doesn't like it. Every time I've needled him, I come away from it and I'm like, I don't think it did anything. I don't think it worked for him. And it's because he wasn't open to it. So I feel like you see that with all kinds of things. Even they try to say dry needling it's a Western, but really it's just more of a Western practitioner doing an Eastern procedure, basically.
yeah.
So that was my 2 cents. Do you have any stories of clients who have taken things? I guess we could talk about Whitney's experience if she's the only one right now, but do you have experience with any of your clients where they come in for a massage and you've offered them, maybe you should start trying to do this and you'll see this result? Any type of improvements that you want to tell us about?
Well, I kind of like Whitney's experience. It's a fresh one and it's a good one. It's a good story to tell. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I have been having kind of a weird year of health things. And I'm a moderately healthy human being. I take care of myself. I get good sleep. I eat correct. I don't drink alcohol. I work out a lot. And so part of my journey and kind of figuring out what's going on with me was to do more self-care, which was committing to massage with you. And I had done something that triggered a response in my body, like an allergic reaction, that I couldn't really figure out what was going on. Like, why am I having this allergic reaction? Is it because I did a paddleboard race over toxic water in Lake Okeechobee? Is it because I'm really super stressed right now because I'm designing my home, I'm working crazy, my business was getting restructured a little bit, I just brought a new team member on. Who knows, right? Is it because I'm 36, turning 37, and my internal clock is just, the grains of sand are just falling? Who knows? So I came in and I was having issues that I was talking to you about. I was having like topographical tongue. I told you about my 2 basically like histamine responses where my face exploded. Literally.
It was your pitta rash.
It was my pitta rash. My pitta rash blew me up. I was like, barely with my feet on the ground, like floating around like something at the Thanksgiving Day parade. So I mentioned this to you maybe before a massage or after, and you gave me just 2 quick tools to work on, some of the stuff that was going on. One was a tongue scraper and oil pulling. And because I was like, my tongue is like on fire. Like my tongue feels like I burnt it. Mm-hmm. Like I burnt the roof of my mouth or I burnt my tongue. And you had a nice little introduction for me to try these things. And just like I said earlier, it was kind of like I just went to the fitting room and I tried on this dress that I wasn't really sure about, and I did it. And I was like, wow, I really like this. And lo and behold, my symptoms started to dissipate and I started feeling healthier and better and not as inflamed. And is that forever? God, no. I'm probably already re-inflamed again. Just talking about it is stressing me out. But
did you stop oil pulling?
No, I have it next to my...
You're still doing it?
I still do it.
How long did it take you to get relief using those 2 things?
I literally, and maybe this is a unique experience to me because I'm a very sensitive person. I'm very, very sensitive. Internally, externally, I have sensitivity and my body will respond well to a lot of things. I felt relief literally the next morning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I saw you at the gym 1 or 2 days later, and I told you already. I was like, "Look, like I'm already getting
that's
a response."
Pretty fast.
It was.
I was
very
going to say
close.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, no. Most of the time, people are telling me things that that they just feel calm or they feel peaceful. They feel less stressed, less anxious. Those are the majority of the results or feedback that I get from clients with massage. And then when I'm working with somebody with Ayurveda, it's we'll start with one thing. Let's make one small change.
That's what I did.
It's typically it's like warm lemon water in the morning. Let's do this. Let's do this for the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, whatever I think they can handle based on their lifestyle and what they've got going on, work schedule, kids, whatever.
Give me a list of some of those small changes that the audience could do. So warm lemon water
on an empty
stomach,
in
right?
the morning. Yeah, first thing. It's going to help support your liver. That's going to help your body kick up its metabolism.
And it preps the gut for digestion.
Yes.
It kind of kickstarts a little bit of that enzyme development.
Yep.
I know that from not from an Ayurvedic background, but from a different background.
Helps with elimination. So if anybody's dealing with constipation, that's a good one. That's not taking, a supplement. That's just warm lemon water. Tongue scraping and oil pulling. That's a nice one.
Yeah.
The tongue scraper, you're pulling ama or toxins from
before you've brushed your teeth. You don't brush your teeth and then tongue scrape.
Correct. You tongue scrape first. Then you can do oil pulling, and then you do your warm lemon water. You're going to brush your teeth after you have your breakfast or whatever. How about really slowing down to eat? We're always in a hurry. I'm going to go here and grab something to eat. Right? That's how we even talk about it. But if we can just slow down and eating mindfully, sometimes it's not what we're eating that's so important as how we're eating.
Are you chewing
chewing
your
your
food enough?
food. That's so important. It's one I struggle with so hard.
6 deep breaths before you eat is what I think.
Yes,
I heard
and
somewhere.
save the drink until after.
Yeah.
Save the water, whatever you're having with your
Well,
meal.
so that's really
after.
interesting because, like, I think everyone, and I stopped doing this in the last few years when I learned, like, we're the only animals that eat and drink at the same time. Like, even technically, you're not supposed to put your cat's food and water next to each other. You're supposed to put them on opposite sides.
I didn't think about it for
Somewhere
me
because they don't want it next to it. But Ayurveda will say, don't drink your water while you're eating, right?
And
like
it's not like a
eat
cold,
and then
fast, hard rule. Like if you do, are you going to really screw your digestion up? No, but it's better if
Yeah.
If
that's
you wait.
interesting. I didn't expect to hear you say that today. What about, is dry brushing? Is that Ayurveda?
Dry brushing is very Ayurvedic.
Yeah.
Yes, Garshana. So yeah, I got my silk gloves on Amazon. I think they were like, I don't know, $12-13, and you can use them before you get in the shower. You just dry brush. You want to go towards your heart. So start from your fingertips, go towards your heart. Everything's towards your heart.
It's like a
Legs
light
up.
self massage.
You're just prepping
Your
the
skin.
Yeah.
Is it legs? It's legs first. Is there an order? It doesn't
There's
matter.
no order. You just want to
Okay.
go towards your
Yeah.
heart. I wouldn't do my face with the same gloves
Yeah.
that I'm doing my body with, but and then then you can abhyanga. You could do some warm oil, and to make it more accessible, I break it up. I'll do like one night or morning whenever I'm showering. I'll do my dry brushing over the whole body, and then maybe I'll just do warm oil massage on my upper body, and then the next time I'm showering, I'll do my lower half. So typically you would do your whole body, right, at the same time. But if that feels like too much, for me, that felt like too much to cram into my schedule. So I broke it up. And then I was more apt to stick with it.
Yeah.
So you can do it every day. I'm not an everyday Abhyanga girl. I'm more like a once a week Abhyanga girl. But if I stay consistent with it, I feel better and I see better results.
Yeah.
As with anything, right?
Yeah.
With working out. With seeing your physical therapist. Yeah.
So now we get to chat a little bit about kind of what I've been trying to learn from you the most, and what I think you're very, very passionate about, and just I think a hot topic for a lot of ladies that's coming up is rest. So restoration. From my own experience, rest has been very difficult for me, and not in the essence of I don't know how to stay at home and relax. Trust me, I can stay at home all day long. I don't know necessarily that I'm relaxing. I have a lot of, I don't know if it's shame or guilt or just clouded thinking, undeservingness when I start to quiet the body down. So I've started to journal and try to get some of that out. And it's just hard. It's hard to measure because in those times too, maybe I was home all day on Sunday. That was my day of rest, but was I really resting? Was I really nurturing myself? I don't know. I have to look into that deeper. But my question around this is, and what I want to dive into is, why do you think rest is so hard for people? Because people come to you for rest. Like, give me a rest. I gotta get face down on the table now. And first, we'll dive into the next part, just being, why do you think rest is so hard for people? And then why in particular do you think rest is hard for women? Which I think are two questions that you have a lot of thoughts on.
Well, I mean, you pretty much said it in terms of what your experience is. Why is rest so hard? And getting to the root of why is it so hard? What is the story for me around rest? Is it shame? I feel lazy when I'm just on the couch, just taking a minute, taking a pause. Or maybe I'm not worthy. For me, it's always been I haven't earned it. I haven't checked off enough on my 300-page impossible to-do list. Like, why is my self-worth wrapped up in
Earning
it?
Earning
How
your
much I
existence.
check off my list. Why? And we have to ask those deeper questions. And I think journaling is so powerful when it comes to working through that. And is it going to happen overnight? Not likely. It didn't happen overnight to build that case in your mind, So it's going to take some time, and stick with it and stay with it, and just For me, it's like making a commitment to myself, making a promise to myself that I'm worthy of this, and I'm going to make sure that I do something for myself each day, whether I feel I've earned it, whether I feel worthy of it, but something that helps me slow down, turn within, and just take my foot off the gas. We just live in a fast world. That's our culture these days. It's how much shit can you get done in one day? Like, that's the world we live in.
Well, and it's like, I mean, I don't, tell me if I'm assuming wrong about you, but I was going to assume we both come from households where accomplishments weren't just celebrated, which is normal, celebrate your accomplishments, but they almost felt like mandatory, like, okay, now you've accomplished this thing. Well, you don't have time to celebrate and relax. Like, what's the next thing you're going to accomplish? What's the next thing you're going to accomplish? Look at all these people accomplishing things. What are you accomplishing? So I'm not good at giving myself time to rest and enjoy the fruits of my labor. I'm just on to the next thing all the time. And you'll appreciate this because Whitney and I were reviewing our podcast the other day, and we were talking about this rest section and how good you need to be about resting. You're like, do you want to start a networking group? And I was like, Whitney, you're supposed to rest. And I was like, but yes.
Yes, why not? Of course.
But it's just like, before we know it, like, we're on this hamster wheel of, it's not good enough for me. It's not good enough. Like, and I have people saying like, you're killing it. Like, I'm so proud of you. And I am just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not proud of myself yet.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
get
ingrained.
there.
It's definitely how we're brought up, how we're conditioned. And it's pervasive. It's everywhere. Like, it's everywhere. It's not just how we were brought up in our home. It is our culture.
Yeah.
And, a good example of how we can break away from that is looking at how people in Europe take their siesta or, their break in the midday. They close their shops down. Lunch and midday rest is important. And, we can adopt some of that or, bring it into our world, our lives, our day-to-day. Just being mindful, having some mindfulness around, what can I do to slow my life down? Maybe it's really taking time to chew my food, maybe it looks like binging Netflix for a night. I mean, rest can be a lot of different things. It can look a lot of different ways. It's just stepping outside of your to-do list.
And it's not binging like murder mysteries or violence on Netflix.
No, because then
it's
we
like
would have to digest
binging
that.
happy things like
Hallmarky.
Schitt's Creek, which is on Hulu. It's not Netflix, but something happy, which I've been binging that recently.
Yeah, I tend towards Hallmark stuff. That's my guilty pleasure.
My mom is like that.
I know.
Especially over Christmas.
It's so fluffy. Like, it's a breath of fresh air.
Oh my gosh.
So why do you think that, maybe this isn't your experience, but I feel like from our conversations that we've had, is there is a tendency for women to not have this ability to rest. And you've even shared with me that through a couple of workshops, just giving women the permission to rest, to break open, to allow softness, stillness, whatever that is. Why do you, and maybe it's just the circle you're in, or maybe you actually have a thought about why you think women really struggle with allowing themselves that time to rest?
I think it is about giving yourself permission to pause for women. It's really just a hard thing to say, all right, I can set my list of stuff that I need to do today down for a minute. And, whether they have kids or demanding jobs or, whatever it is that we're taking care of, that's it. We're always taking care. That's like a woman's life. We're always taking care of something or somebody. And men might feel the same way. I don't know. I can't speak to that because I'm not. But just seeing that for women, how hard it is for them to take their foot off the gas, to set down the responsibility of care for everything and everyone around them. That was pretty humbling to witness. And what I noticed in the workshops that I've offered, in the group settings that I've been in, is that women need other women we need each other for support. Like that's a connection that we have lost over time. We used to gather down by the riverside and we'd cry on each other's shoulders and talk about, the influenza that's going around or whatever. And your husband Haas hasn't grown a profitable crop in forever, or I don't know, whatever it was. But, like that was our time to connect. And it was valuable, and or there were the red tent experiences, We've just been missing out on that. And at the end of my workshops, there's always like a journal prompt, and I give everyone time to work through their journal question, their sacred question, and then what they've loved was sharing about it. I just open up the floor. Who wants to share? And you don't have to, but a lot of them did. And that was very moving and very humbling for me to witness, because we have to feel safe and secure to be able to open up, and to be able to hold that kind of space for women to do that was just so powerful and moving to me. And that was when I realized how needed, how much we're missing that.
Yeah. We don't have that container.
We don't.
We don't have that container to put that in. Well, I don't want to say none of us do. Maybe some people do.
I think we're out there. But
I think in general, in general, I guess there's not a container for a woman to go, enough. I've had enough.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm signing off. I need to be done with feeling everything for everyone all the time. And I don't even know how to feel for myself anymore.
That's it. We don't even get to ask the question, for me, it's been living my life from this dissociative, trauma-driven state. Like when you experience trauma in your life, whatever it is, a lot of times you can dissociate from yourself, and you don't even ask the questions like, what do I need? What do I want? What is my purpose? Why am I here? We don't even ask those questions. I didn't. And then I just, that messy, traumatic childhood experience of mine just rolled right into responsibilities for other people. I had a family young, and that hasn't really stopped until now. And so now, like when I'm with my husband, well, where do you want to go? I don't know.
Do I have one?
What do I want to do? Who am I? Who is she?
Questions are really hard, and I'm sure I'm not alone in that. And I think
that's where the stillness comes in.
Yes.
It allows you to discover maybe your answers to some of those questions.
Yeah. I'm not just offering something because it's needed or it's a cool idea. It's what I need. It's my medicine that I need too. So I'm in it with everyone else.
Yeah. It's really cool.
I'm attracting my tribe.
That's what we do.
Are we your tribe?
Yeah.
I love being a part of this tribe.
So we probably have like closing questions now. My closing question is, what have you learned about your own healing through the act of healing others? Which I guess
you
kind of just answered that, didn't you?
Yeah.
So did you have a closing question?
Where can we find you?
In the stars. No. So as I said, my practice is in Tequesta. My website's on restorationbodyworkfl.com.
We'll put that in the description too. We'll put your Instagram and your website.
I do have a Facebook account for the business, but to be honest, I never go on Facebook. It just kind of auto shares stories from Instagram. So don't reach out to me there. Phone number 561-252-3276. And those are places to connect with me, ways to connect with me.
Yeah, we'll put everything in the description for the listeners.
I don't have anything coming up at the moment, nothing planned, nothing on the books, but when I do offer workshops, I do post them on Instagram.
On social media? That's the best way to stay in your loop.
Yes.
Stay in your universe.
On Instagram.
Follow her.
I need to get down to one of your workshops. We keep doing workshops on the same days.
I know. Not very good planning on our part, huh?
All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Whitney Stevenson.
And I'm Dr. Hannah Shays.
And thanks for tuning in and turning inward.
I changed that earlier.
Turning inward.
Turning inward.
That's what this was about. On another episode of Beyond the Reps, what your physical therapist and personal trainer forgot to tell you.